Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be telling y'all 26 books that I want to read in 2026. I'm going to be telling y'all some new releases, some books that are pretty old that I haven't read yet, and basically just some books that I just want to get to in 2026 that I've been either scared to read or I just wasn't grabbing towards it at the time. Anyways, let's get into the video. I have quite a few different genres on here. I made a list on my phone because I didn't want to forget all the books that I wanted to read last year. So I made a list on my phone. So I'm going to be reading off that list. And if I have the book, I will show it. And if I don't have the book, I will post a picture on the side. The first book is Wicked. I wanted to read Wicked when it had came out. Before Wicked 2 came out, I wanted to read the book, but that didn't end up happening. So I definitely want to read this book in 2026 because I want to know all the lore. I've seen the movies, so I'm hoping that the book lives up to the hype. Next, I want to read Just Friends by Haley Pham. I bought tickets to go see her book tour in New York, which is the first one that she's doing, and is March 2nd. And I'm so excited because I got a signed copy plus my ticket. So I'm really excited to get the book and meet her, take a picture with her. Comment down below if you are watching this part of the video. Comment down below if y'all bought tickets to her tour. Next book is a really popular TikTok book, and it's Binding 13. I've seen so many people say that they love this book so much. And it's like, I really want to read it, but at the same time, they say that it's high school based, and I don't really know if I really want to read any more books that's based in high school because I feel like I'm too old for that. And the books that I do have that were based in high school, I just got very bored by it really quickly. But a lot of people have been recommending Binding 13 and saying that it's such a good book. So I really want to read that book in 2026. We'll read the first book and see if I like it. And then if I do, then I guess we're going to be finishing the whole series. Next is a book that one of my favorite booktubers are always raving about, and it's Sarah Caroli. She loves Frederick Bachman, and I really want to read Beartown. I never read a Frederick Bachman book before, and I'm intrigued. She always has such high praise for it, so I really want to know if I'm gonna like it or not. The next book is an author that's an all-time favorite for me from 2025, and that's Lucinda Berry, and the book is called Her First Lie, which is the prequel to A Perfect Child. I love that book. Any book that she writes, I love. Even if it's not my favorite, it doesn't even matter because the ending is always going to be mad twisty. You're never going to expect what's going to happen, and I feel like she's a really good author. And I feel like she is so underrated in the book scene. I need more people to want to read her books. Come on, promote her, because when I go to Barnes & Nobles, I can't find her books, and it makes me mad because I want the physical copy. I want to go to Barnes & Nobles and be able to find her books instead of ordering off of Amazon, but I can't find them. She's really good and she's underrated, and I'm so excited to read this book because I felt like there's missing pieces in that story. She wrote The Perfect Child, and then she wrote a little novella for it, and the novella was too short, and I need another book, so I'm so excited to read this book. Next is another new release, which is called Love Felt Like This by Julia Olivia. I hope I'm saying that right. She was the author who wrote If It Makes You Happy, and I loved that book. 6 stars from me. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just perfect. You have a father who's single trying to raise his 2 daughters, and then you have a woman who is freshly divorced. She moved to Coppertown. I don't know why I was calling it Coopertown, but she moved to Coppertown to basically help out her family's business after her mom died, and she is in a rut in a way, but then she meet this guy who she kind of, starts to like, and history. But the book was really cute, really sweet. I loved it, gave it 6 stars. It was amazing, and I'm excited to read more books from this author. The next book is Powerless. Now, me and fantasies don't always go along well. I just can never get into it. I read 80 pages of Powerless last year in September. Wait, no, actually not last year September, 2024 September, and I never picked it back up. I was enjoying it, I don't really know why I didn't pick it back up, because I was enjoying it, but yeah, it's been sitting there for a while, and I kind of want to pick it back up and finish it. I was intrigued by the story. I don't know, fantasies are just different. They're kind of boring sometimes, because I'm just not interested in world building and like monsters, dragons. I'm just not interested, but I really want to get into it because maybe I might like it. I'm just scared to read the books. But this year, 2026, we are reading fantasy, and we're going to finish Powerless. We have another new release, and it's the author Lucy Score, who wrote The Story of My Life. And the next book in that series is Mistakes Were Made, which is going to follow the main character in The Story of My Life's best friend. Is going to follow the best friend in her love life. And at first, I didn't really like the story because I felt like the main male character was just very hard to like. I don't really love when authors make the male main character mean. He's just mean, and it doesn't matter. The character development just is not there. Everything just bothers them. I hate that. But the story ended up being good. So I am excited to read the next part in that series. So I recently bought this book because I wanted to read it in December, but that actually didn't happen. But the reason why I'm showing y'all this book is because of the author, B.K. Borison. And that's because I want to read a book by B.K. Borison because, I don't know, I like the cover art is always nice, and I want to read First Time Caller. I've seen that book everywhere, and the cover intrigues me, but I never picked it up. Honestly, I feel like I never even seen it in the stores, but I'm pretty sure it's there. But I really want to read that book. I know nothing about the plot. I really don't know nothing about the author, but I'm open and I want to read it. Next, we have the lovely Miss Lynn Painter. I have a love and hate relationship with Lynn Painter. I really loved Better Than the Movies. I didn't love Nothing Like the Movies too much because I just feel like the sweetness that was in Better Than the Movies just went away. And Nothing Like the Movies is more of a darker tone. And I don't know, I just wasn't vibing with it. It was just too much back and forth, and it just kills all the romance that was built up. And then also the Do-Over by Lynn Painter. The story was cute, but I just was not vibing with the Groundhog Day trope. The Valentine's Day that was just coming over and over and over again, it was starting to get on my nerves a little bit, and I just wanted to hurry up and finish the book. But in all honesty, I do enjoy reading her books, and Betting on You is one of the books that I've seen in Barnes & Nobles. I want to buy it. I stopped myself from buying it, but I think we're going to get that this year and we're going to read it. Next, we have two Stephen King books, Billy Summers and It. I have never read a Stephen King book a day in my life. Honestly, I never even knew that some of the horror movies that we have on our screens today were based off of his books. So do what you want with that information as you please, but I did not know. But I'm very interested because one thing I do love is some thriller and some horror novels or books. I love it. It's just something about that mystery factor that I love so much that, like, I love it over romance. Like, mystery and thriller are definitely my favorite type of genres. And then we have romance. But I'm intrigued by his books. Another booktuber, actually, Ashlyn and her husband Ian, they love Stephen King and they make me really, really want to read his books. So yeah, in 2026 we're gonna be reading Stephen King. I might even make a whole video about reading Stephen King for a week, so stay tuned for that. Next on the list is Picking Daisies on Sundays. You can't really see it. Picking Daisies on Sundays by Liana Sincati. I think that's how you say her name. I had this book on my shelf for a while. I don't even know how long, but I had it on there for a while because it was one of the first books that I bought to put on my book cart. I just wanted to fill it up, but I was very intrigued by the book because it's pink, and pink is my favorite color. And I've heard really good things about this book, and the author also has another book in this series, but I really need to get to reading this one, and that's about it. I really don't know too much like what it's about, but I bought it for a reason, right? So we're gonna read it. You can literally tell that I have these books on this freaking cart for a while because they're all dusty. But next we have Summer in the City by Alex Astor. And I've heard really great things about her books in particular, but she writes mostly fantasy and I ain't vibing with that for real. But this one right here was a summer book that I didn't get to, but I bought it in the summer. Actually, it was in one of my vlogs. So if you want to go watch that, you really should. But I like it because it was pink, obviously. But I think it will be a really cute story and I need to get to it. Probably won't be reading it until the summertime comes around again. But I'm definitely going to be reading it in 2026. Next, we have Heartless Hunter. And you're probably like, aren't you literally just bashing the freaking fantasies and now you're talking about Heartless Hunter? Yes, I'm talking about Heartless Hunter. Because something about the cover of the book makes me want to read it. It's a really nice cover and I'm intrigued by it. And I don't know, maybe that might be the fantasy book that finally makes me get into fantasy. Who knows? Next, we have the Dune book because I have a really interesting video idea that I want to do with that book. So I want to read it. I want to read the first book and I also want to get to the second book and maybe the third book. I really want to get into it and see what the hype is, especially since it is a movie. So I want to see what the hype is, why people like it a lot. So stay tuned for that video. Next we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I've never read a book by Abby Jimenez, but I've heard really great things about her books, and Just for the Summer was the first book I ever heard about her, and it became popular. And sometimes books that become popular doesn't mean that it's the best book. I haven't heard anything bad about it, so I really want to get into her writing. I've heard people like it a lot. I really just want to read the book, see why people like it a lot, see if I like it. Maybe I might find a new author that I like. Now this is a series that I've been wanting to get into for a while. I don't know why I never bought the book, but it's the Natural series. And there's a YouTuber that I watch, her name is Just Ali on YouTube, and she really likes this series a lot. And she made me want to read it. And when I see it in Barnes and Nobles, I'm like, I really want to read it, but should I pick it up and buy it? I have so many books and I need to stop buying books because I'm not reading it. I need to put myself on a book buying ban. But is there such thing as being addicted to buying books but not reading? I am reading my books. Don't worry. I'm reading my books slowly but surely. But I don't know. There's something about that series that is drawing me in and I really want to read it. So we're definitely going to get the first book in the series this year. Next we have The Silent Patient. Now, The Silent Patient is on Kindle Unlimited, and I have been wanting to read that book for a while. I know a little bit of the plot. It's about a lady, I think the wife, and her husband has died, and they're trying to make her talk, but she has went silent. So they're trying to figure out what happened and what's going on. But that kind of drew me in. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews though about it being slow and kind of boring. But sometimes you can't listen to the reviews because you might end up liking the book. So I really want to read that book this year and we're going to do it. Another like thriller horror, Arthur Alice Feeney, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I've heard great things about that book and I also heard great things about her writing in general. And like I said, I love horror, I love thriller, I love mystery. So any type of book that has that type of genre, I'm ready to read it and pick it up. So excited to get that book in 2026 and read it. I've had this book on my shelf for a while, and when I mean a while, probably 2.5 years. The title is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and I bought it at the airport. It was an impulse buy. I kept walking by it and passing by it. It kept looking at me and I kept looking at it, and I just ended up buying it after a while, but I haven't read it. So we're definitely going to be reading it because the title already intrigues you. Everyone in my family has killed someone. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Next we have The Wedding People, and that's another book that I've seen when I was at the airport, and I kept seeing that book over and over and over again. And honestly, the reason why I didn't buy it is because the hardcover was actually kind of expensive. I think it was like $30 for the book, and I really wasn't vibing with that price for real. So I never picked up the book. But like every once in a while, I think about it, and I'm like, I really want to read it. I know it's based in Rhode Island, and it's about this, if I'm not mistaken, somebody's getting married in the book, but I think, no, somebody's getting married in the book, but then she meets somebody who is on the verge of wanting to, you know, not gonna say this in the video, but I think they become friends and they trying to figure out something like that. But I want to read it. I'm intrigued. So yeah. Next we have The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. The reason why I have this book is because I wanted to watch the Netflix series, but that never happened. I don't know what's wrong with me. I be wanting to do things and then I don't. Like, having a book slump is so annoying because you want to read, but your mind is telling you no. But I really want to get to this because I really want to watch the series. I don't really know too much about the plot of the book, but it's a murder mystery, so I probably will like it. Hopefully I like it. Heard mixed reviews about it, but we're not going to listen to that. I want to like this book, so hopefully we like this book this year. So next we have The Housemaids. The movie just came out last year in December, and I've had this book on my cart for a while and I never picked it up. Wanted to read it before I watched the movies, didn't end up doing it, read a little bit of it, didn't end up finishing it even though I wanted to. I've heard that some of the scenes in the movie wasn't lining up with the book. They changed a couple things, but I wouldn't know that because I didn't read the book. So me watching the movie for the first time, I was, you know, I was kind of like shocked, but kind of amazed. Like, I enjoyed that movie because it was pretty funny, pretty like, ooh, but I liked it. So I'm pretty sure, I think I might like the book. I have never read a Freida McFadden book, and I know she's very popular in the mystery thriller, like, you know, genre. So I really want to get into reading her books, and I probably will like it. I think, hopefully. I've heard that her plots are very twisty, which I like. So we're definitely going to be finishing this book in 2026. And if I don't, y'all need to get on me. Like, I probably will be doing a whole lot of reading vlogs so I can make sure that I'm going to be reading these books in 2026 because we cannot get behind. Like, I got goals that I want to reach in Goodreads, but we'll talk about that after. Another book that I want to finish from my favorite author, Lucinda Berry, is 1 and 4. I started reading it and I guess it just wasn't the right time for me to be reading the book because I stopped and I haven't picked it up ever since. But one thing that actually, where is it? Because I know I bought it. Anyways, I found that book in Barnes & Nobles and I was so happy because you literally cannot find her books anywhere. But when I found the book in Barnes & Nobles, I was like, now I definitely need to read it. But I can't find it, so I can't show y'all. But I started reading it a couple months ago, then I stopped. I started reading it on my Kindle, actually. But then I stopped. But I need to get back into it because I'm trying to read all her books in her discography, but I don't want to rush into all of them because after I finish reading all of them, I'm going to have to wait for her to release new ones. So we're not going to be doing all of that. But I definitely need to finish that book. And I definitely love her. Best author. The last book that I want to make sure that I read in 2026 is One of Us is Back. Now, I have read One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next, but I haven't gotten to the third book. I actually got this book on my birthday, I think 2 years ago. And it's just been sitting here and I haven't read it. Mind you, the second book in this series was okay. I didn't really care for it too much, but the first book actually got me back into reading. So we gotta finish the last one. We have to. How can I explain it? It would be like rite of passage to finish off this series that I've started 5 years ago, I think. It's been a long time. So I want to recap a little bit of my Goodreads and all the books that I've read in 2025, and also the reading goal that I set for 2025 and the new reading goal that I'm going to set for 2026. So we're going to start with the first book that I read in 2025 is also when I had gotten my new Kindle, and that's My December Darling. I absolutely loved that book. It was about 200 pages. It wasn't too long, but it was very cute and it was a no-brainer kind of read, but I liked it. And I feel like a lot of people might like it because also it was written by Lauren Asher, and I'm pretty sure she's very popular in the book scene. And I really enjoyed the book. It was a really cute book. I can't remember the characters' names, but I know I liked it because I gave it 5 stars. Next, we have If He Had Been With Me. And I didn't really enjoy that book too much because I was trying to explain about Friday the 13th, the high school scene and the high school kids. Really not vibing with that type of plot anymore because I feel like it's a little bit too young for me. So this book in particular wasn't my favorite. I feel like it was kind of slow. I don't understand why people were crying about it because honestly, the first couple pages kind of ruined the ending. The foreshadowing wasn't really there because they basically told you what was going to happen before the ending even got there. So out on a limb. So I gave this book 3 stars because I really didn't see the hype. It was an okay book, but it definitely wasn't memorable for me. I honestly really don't remember too much about it. Nothing like the movies. Like I explained, this book was more of a darker tone and it kind of ruined the cute romance that Better Than the Movies had built up. And I honestly felt like it didn't need a second story. I feel like it was a good standalone. Now we have Saving Noah. This was the first book that I read by Lucinda Berry and it got me into a freaking hole. I don't even know how to explain it. After reading that book, I've read so many of her books. This was all in February. I read so many of her books in February back to back. I couldn't stop. Saving Noah was amazing. I don't want to say too much about it because I feel like you need to dive deep into her books yourself and figure it out yourself because it's just that good. Next, I had read The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, which had became one of my favorite books by her because that book is just amazing. And like I said before, just dive right into it. Not even going to say too much about it. You're going to love it. Next, I read A Welcome Reunion, which is the little novella for The Perfect Child. And like I said, it was too short and I needed more. But she's going to be releasing a new book into that series. So I'm really excited for that. Next, we got Phantom Limb, also by Lucinda Berry. That book was so good. You are not going to expect that ending. That's all I'm going to say. Appetite for Innocence. I don't really recommend this book for the faint of heart. If you're under the age of probably 16, I don't recommend y'all read this book because it's just not for y'all. But this book was also a really good book written by her. And that's all I'm going to say. Next, The Do-Over. Like I said, I wasn't really vibing with the repetition. The Valentine's Day trope going over and over and over and over again. Wasn't vibing with it. Didn't really like it too much. The story was cute, but like the whole overall execution of the book, I feel like it could have been better. Then I had read If You Tell a Lie by Lucinda Berry, and that was the first book by her that I didn't give that good of a rating. It was like stars. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. It was like stars for me because I didn't care for the ending. The ending kind of ruined the whole book for me because I feel like it needed more. It felt like a rushed ending, basically. Then I read the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I read the whole Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy because I wanted to read it before the last season, the 3rd and final season of The Summer I Turned Pretty came out. Didn't end up doing that, but I did finish the books in a reasonable time. Loved it. I gave the last book 4 stars only because we know who she picked. And I was mad about it because I feel like Jeremiah was better than Conrad. And y'all can argue with the wall because don't argue with me. I'm a Jeremiah stan, doing all, and yeah. I read The Story of My Life, and like I said before, I liked the book, didn't care for the male main character, but the ending kind of all together, so I'm excited for the new release. If It Makes You Happy. Love that book. Gave it 6 stars off the scale. Goodreads won't let you give it 6 stars, they only let you give it 5 stars, but it was off the scale for me because that book was one of the best fall books I ever read, and I was so excited to read another book by that author. So that was the books that I read in 2025. I set my reading goal to, I think I set my reading goal to 25 books in 2025. Didn't end up reaching that goal, but that's okay because it doesn't matter how many books that you read. As long as you're reading and you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Like, you don't need to put yourself on like goal or you like have to finish this book in a certain amount of time. Like, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're enjoying it and you're getting a little bit of reading done and you feel content and happy, that's all that matters. Now, the new goal that I want to put for 2026, read at least 50 books this year. I don't know if I'm going to do it because something about me and reading is that I know I like to read, but I find it hard to concentrate with all the extra activities that be around me and distracting me. But we're going to be working on that. And we're going to be striving to read 50 books because I feel like I can do it, and we are going to do it. So that concludes the 26 books that I want to read in 2026. Comment down below any book recommendations that you might have, and also comment down below your favorite books that you have read in 2025, because I really want to know all y'all book tastes, and I really want to know who's watching me and what y'all like. We got to build a community on here. I am striving to get 10K subscribers this year, and I really think that we can do that. I'm starting to be really active, and we're going to continue this goal throughout all 2026. So we reached the end of this video. I'm going to need you to subscribe, comment, and turn on that post notification bell. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.